Hi guys, so I ended up saving our buyer actual money on the transaction costs in Dubai, completely legit, completely legal, okay? Now, to understand how I did that, watch to the end of the video, hit the subscribe button in the meantime, and press the bell icon so you can get updates on any videos that I am making. Look, I've been doing real estate internationally for 14 plus years. I am also the author of The Intelligent Real Estate Investor. I talk about real estate in Dubai, internationally, your life and my life, and our path to financial bliss. Look, if you want to work with me, there is a link at the bottom. You can reach out to me and I'll explain how the process works. I do offer several services. I can help you set up your strategy for your investment. I can help you evaluate different opportunities, pricing the property right if you're buying or you're selling. I can help you negotiate like a pro to save real money. I can help you completely take handover of a property. I've got a team that does that. Or if you want a VIP 5-star package, you can choose to work directly with me. Okay, so a little bit of background on how we ended up saving money, okay? This was a little bit of a complicated long-term deal, okay? We got engaged, I think, pre-corona, like January or February, and unfortunately, it was one of those special properties that required special care to be able to be sold. I'm not going to get into the pricing of the property or where it is and how it is. I don't want to talk about the actual deal, but I want to talk about the actual money. But the reason it took some time was because then came March, which was the complete lockdown, and the sellers were not in town. And anyways, it went on. It was almost like a baby getting born. Not a problem. We are prone to carry deals. As long as it takes, we bring them to completion. How did we end up saving money in a legit way? You need to understand something, the way that transactional costs in Dubai work. Okay, so there is pretty much standard fee of 4% on almost all transactions that you pay to the Dubai Land Department on any transaction that you carry out. And it's pretty fair, it's pretty good, it's pretty decent, and there's a one-time fee, etc., etc. It's pretty okay. There are some people, however, who will sometimes, for instance, if they're buying a property for 3 million, they might, if they know the seller very well, underprice the property to 2 million. Okay, now if you do that, obviously you save a little bit on the 4%. Now, I have personally in my real estate career never done that, and I would never advise any buyer or seller to do that, to underprice a property. There's a very particular, clear reason why you do not do that, and that is because once you sign, well, number one, it's illegal. You're defrauding the government of Dubai, so that's a pretty big reason why you should not do that. And number two, if you, as the seller, sign a sales and purchase agreement at 2 million, whereas maybe the buyer is going to be paying you 1 million dirhams extra on the side. Essentially speaking, the moment you sign this document for the transaction to go forward, you're essentially signing that you're agreeing to sell that property at 2 million. Like, I personally would never ever, not to mention the fact that it's illegal, so you should never do that, but I would never expose my seller or my buyer to that kind of risk. It's unnecessary, it's not healthy, it's not safe, you know, it's illegal, right? So you think about that. Now, this wasn't the case in this scenario, okay? And what has happened previously as well, there was this one time I was transferring 6 properties at the same time, and it has happened then as well. Sometimes what happens is during the current scenario in the market, prices going down pretty fast. And as I said, this was a particular property with very unique, specific conditions. So price of this property was even priced lower than the general market in that area by approximately, let's say 30 to 40%. So I'm just going to give you a round figure for you to understand. If pricing in that area is 1 million, and due to the current scenario, prices have fallen down to 800,000, this property, I'm just giving you an example, the deal was signed up at approximately 500, okay, or not 500, I would say about 600. Okay, these are approximate. Now, obviously, what happens is the Dubai Land Department understands that the regular market price is at 1 million. Currently, prices have come down to 800,000. So they're okay at getting 4% on this as a transfer fee, right? That's what is owed to the government, which is perfectly fine. What they would not be okay is if the transfer is happening at 600,000 dirhams. Essentially speaking, the land department is going to be out of 8,000 dirhams in transfer fees, okay? Because it's 4% on every 4,000, approximately, okay? Now, why does the land department do this? Because it wants to ensure that nobody's committing fraud, yeah, and they want to get what is their right. So essentially speaking, when we went in for the transfer, we were told that our price, okay, now all of these are rough estimates that I'm giving you. This isn't the actual transaction, okay? We were told that our price is too low and our transactions have to happen at this, and my buyer is going to end up paying, 8,000. Now, if this was a 20 million dirham transaction, he's going to end up paying 80,000 to 200,000. Just do the math. I'm not doing the math right now, okay? Essentially speaking, they said this is how it is, and then it went to 2 or 3 levels of approvals, and they were pretty much sticking to this. Now, generally speaking, when the government says this is what it is what it is. However, I am one who never gives in to a certain situation. Number one, always think positive, right? Because we were not defrauding the government, right? So we're not deliberately pricing a transaction low to pay the government less money. We're not doing that, right? Number one. So we've got nothing to hide. We are pretty transparent. Everything's out in the open. Number two, we know that it's a very special, unique building. This price was justified, right? Because, you saw it took us some time to actually find a willing buyer, right? Because the buyer needs to offset the risk that he is taking on in this specific property situation. Therefore, the price was low. Fair enough. Now, I'll try to make a long story short. Number one, being positive, knowing that we're not doing anything wrong. And then I spoke to 3 people all representing the government of Dubai, and I asked them and I told them, look, it doesn't seem fair that my buyer's got to pay extra money, because we're not cheating, we're not defrauding. I've been doing this for a long time. I've never actually done this. And they said, look, it is what it is. We can't really help it. We can't do anything. Something that you all should know is that there are apps out there now which are great. So there are 2 companies that are allowing you free access to real-time sales transactional data, okay? One is FAM and the other is Driven Properties, okay? They're also in the real estate business. Their apps and websites are great. They give you actual live data, right? What I ended up doing is, I knew somebody in the Dubai Land Department, and I approached them with the actual data from the apps, right? I said, look, why? And oh, thank God, just 2 or 3 days before, in that particular locality, with that particular property, a few properties had traded hands. So the land department then, because of the data that was available in terms of sales transactional data, could actually then say, you know what? And I'll use a blue marker for this. We approve all the transactions at this price, which ended up saving my buyer this money. Completely fair, completely legit, because we weren't cheating the government. If we had just accepted their price and decided, okay, you know what, let's just pay it at 4% and be done with it, my buyer would have been paying a little bit more money, and it wouldn't have been happy calling for everybody, because, you know, he negotiated the price down to this, keeping in mind the extra risk that he was taking. Like, somebody wants to know more about the deal, you can reach out to me, but there was a lot of risk that he was taking. So he said, you know what, for the risk that I'm going to consider buying these properties at a much lower price than what the current market is. And fair enough, right? He gets a deal, my sellers get to exit, Dubai gets their fee, property market goes on, right? Okay, look, if you want to work with me specifically, hit the button at the bottom. There's some way to get in touch with me. My team's been working on this. It's not going to be WhatsApp for too long. You will be able to go through a process to actually get to me and work with me. I'd love to help you make a good investment in Dubai. Ciao for now. Talk to you on the other side. Bye.